Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Input Left. Happy April. We're starting a new recording session. Will, how's it been?
It's been splendid. It's the only word I can think of to describe how it has been.
Splendid. Okay.
That's the word of the day.
In these precarious times, that's a yeah. Well, what was the other word of the day that that we were talking about before we started recording?
Impromptu. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah. So I'm sorry to out you here, and I know you were joking. I don't know to what degree you were.
I was joking 100% of the way. You know me. You know I wouldn't invent a word like that. Yeah, I was saying I was joking when Joe showed up on time, something he doesn't usually do. I said that was awfully promptu of him. And he was like, "Oh, that's not what I've heard before." And I was like, "Well, yeah, because it's not that's not word." Yeah,
promptu being the opposite of impromptu,
which obviously doesn't even mean like not prompt. The whole thing was a dumb joke. That's all it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's
Wait,
good. What are we doing in this game? We discovered. Oh yeah, you were going to talk about what we discovered.
So in between recording sessions, I looked up to see where exactly is the EV in Hearthstone City, and it turns out that the PC lady, that's not her house, gives it to you after you beat the Elite Four, unless you're playing Platinum, where she just gives it to you right away. So we actually do not get a Hearthstone City encounter after all, in all likelihood. So that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Will had a little bit of a rage moment when he realized, oh, of course, Pokemon Diamond wouldn't have
just another thing
that makes sense.
Exactly, that makes Diamond worse than Platinum.
Hashtag just Pokemon Diamond things.
There's nothing wrong, obviously, with Platinum fixing things, but there's so many things wrong with this game.
Right.
Just another note. So I've been thinking about it, and I think at this point I want to replace Jamal the Riolu with Mitch the Grottle at some point. Yeah.
Okay.
And one other thing, if I remember correctly, there should be a rival battle when we leave this city coming up. But I did want to go back and get some items that we can access now with the bike first, so I think we should go do that.
Okay. Oh yeah, we can do that. I hope this isn't the rival fight right now.
I thought it was in the passageway to the right. Like when you
This sounds like
maybe that's a change in Diamond. I don't know. I was not expecting to get ambushed right, or in Platinum. I mean, I was not expecting to get ambushed right here. Okay, well we're starting off with the rival battle.
I'm so glad we did not change out our mons for grinding purposes at this point.
Well, I was gonna get the item first and see if we could get Jamal up to level 30 and just evolve it or something, but
yeah. All right. Well, this should go fine. I think it's fine.
It doesn't seem that high level, yeah.
Right.
One other benefit to switching Jamal out is that it should make gaining experience better. We have an EXP sponge in Mitch. Who do I think is best for this? I don't think it gets bite until level 20. I don't know if that's a risk I want to take. Oh my god, I hope you muted yourself.
I'll cut that out. Okay. or I'll magnify it just so everyone can enjoy that. I drank a lot of pop before this recording session. Well, I wanted to share with you, Will. I have a vaccine appointment.
Oh. Which vaccine are you getting? Do you know?
I think it's Moderna. That's the one with 2 shots. Right?
I think most of them have 2 shots. I think Johnson & Johnson's the only one I know of that doesn't have 2.
Well, there's only 3, right?
I thought there was 4.
Isn't the 4th one not in the US?
Yeah.
And also killing people or giving them.
Apparently, there's some rare blood clotting thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, they made me. It's CVS, and they make you schedule both the first and second shot, and so I assume that rules out Johnson & Johnson. But my other theory is, since a lot of these scheduling platforms are actually pretty meh, that it could just be you schedule both, and then if they give you the 1 shot, you just don't have to go, like you cancel the other appointment.
Yeah, I wouldn't know,
But
and
I'm
you
not
should
sure.
definitely not drink soda right before recording going forward.
I the second one I'll cut out.
Oh my
Except
God.
I talked about it, so now maybe I should magnify it again. No, but it's very exciting because my grandma's vaccinated, my dad's vaccinated, and my mom. Oh, my mom just got the vaccine on Thursday as well.
Nice.
Minnesota's moving pretty fast, which is exciting. So is any of your family vax?
Yeah, one of my sisters is she's in college right now, studying to become a nurse. So she got fully vaccinated like a little while ago, a couple months ago.
Is that insider trading?
Sure. And let me think now. I think most of my family now has gotten the first dose. I have not yet, but my parents have. And I think my other sister, who doesn't live with us anymore, I think she got it. I think it's me and my youngest sister have not gotten any doses just yet, but I think that might change in the near future. So,
if you, well, the first question I guess is, do you feel like you need it right now, and would it actually be helpful for you in terms of like equity lines, right? Like, should you be the person at 4 a.m. clicking refresh to get the appointment?
Well, obviously I am not that person. I would have just the thing. I probably, if I wanted to, I probably could have gotten my first dose already, but I'm waiting until like basically everybody is eligible before I start looking for that reason, which is like I don't really need it right now. Like I'm not really going out very much. I'm not on the front lines or anything.
Right. Oh, where you're at, they haven't made everyone eligible yet?
I don't think so. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think. I think it's still only high risk adults and like high risk young adults and then like older people basically. Or like, you know, like various extenuating circumstances. Like people like me, I don't think are eligible yet, but they will be shortly.
Yeah, I think over here they just totally opened the floodgates for most places, which is cool. Well, I actually have. I don't know. I is it a good thing? It's hard to tell because some people thought like when they announced, oh, everyone's gonna be eligible by May 1st, May 1, as viewers of this show might recall.
No, not May 1.
But that doesn't mean that should be happening. And so I think we're at the point where we're getting close to people who are jumping in and very excited about the vaccine, or in most places are getting access and are getting scheduled.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it's becoming a non-issue as we get to the point where we're going to be trying to push people to get it, right? Which is going to be a very different situation. But I do wonder, like, even if you're eligible, that doesn't mean you should be signing up and taking a slot necessarily. I don't know. It's a tough battle, right?
I think that I would never fault anyone for signing up to get the vaccine. I don't think that's effective. I don't think it's worth like guilting people or even telling people like, oh, I don't think you should have gotten the vaccine. You don't
deserve this.
Like, yeah, you're not a frontline like worker, so you should have sat back and waited. I think if people choose to wait for that reason, I think that's totally fine. That's kind of what I've been doing, but I will probably get the vaccine within the next month, is my guess.
Right.
Well, I haven't been as aggressively going for it. You know, like I think my older sister, I don't think she really needs it. She's been working from home a lot. She does occasionally like go out and like see people, but that's not mandatory. I think she was a little more keen to get it, and I'm not going to fault her for that. You know, she's a fairly healthy young adult, but I'm not going to be like, you know, you should have waited even like longer, basically. So.
No, yeah, and I think what I would say is that if you're working from home, you're totally home like 24/7, and you're not going out, and you don't need to be going out. Maybe in the earlier stages, there were more questions of you should probably wait and let the elderly people that are immunocompromised go before you, frontline. But now we're getting to the point where that question's probably more moot, and you should probably be jumping in as soon as you're able.
Yeah, I agree.
But it is very exciting, though. It feels like because I'm getting vaccinated tomorrow morning, actually, so right around the corner. And it's just very exciting thinking about in 2 weeks I'll be able to feel like I can live some more semblance of of normal, right? Like I'll still, I don't know how you feel about it. I'll still be wearing a mask in public. And
Absolutely, yeah.
But
you shouldn't just like completely drop
Right.
all semblance of COVID once you get vaccinated.
But what I do feel like is like I'll be comfortable getting a meal with a friend outdoors.
Yeah.
With probably not wearing a mask, right? Like
I think I would also be a bit more comfortable for things like that than I have been. I agree.
Right. I even have. I think I was even, besides like these worse variants being present, I'm pretty comfortable with that now. Like, if the other person's vaccinated or they're playing it pretty safe, obviously outdoor spread has just been shown it's just a lot harder to get that way. But no, it's gonna be really exciting and for places to open back up. Obviously, there are gonna be some people who are going to be real poo-poo heads about it and are just going to walk around the grocery store without a mask because they're vaccinated, and they're gonna say, "You made me stay home for months, and now I got the vaccine," and whatever.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that with those people, like, that's why obviously, even if you're vaccinated, you need to continue to follow COVID protocols as though you aren't vaccinated, generally speaking, because the people around you don't necessarily know that you're vaccinated, right? So yeah, you're still going to have to go into like your supermarket and wear a mask just like everybody else. It's also in part because just because you have the vaccine doesn't mean that you can't spread it to other people. The disease, I mean, if you have it, though you may not experience particularly bad symptoms, I think you can still be contagious somewhat if you have the vaccine. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean you can be getting it, you can be spreading it. The main thing is that everyone tested in trials. No one got hospitalized. No one got like near death from it. But you're still gonna, it'll be probably like a cold that you will spread, and then it'll be a cold that if you spread it, it could kill someone. So
well, yeah, and that's an important distinction that I remember reading up about. Is like a lot of people were looking at like the efficacy rates in terms of like how well do these vaccines prevent people from getting COVID altogether? And though that is like, a somewhat important statistic, obviously nobody would pretend otherwise. It may not be as important as people think it is, in the sense that one of the more important things is basically like, if you do get the disease, how serious is it? Is it the sort of thing you need to be hospitalized for? Or is it the sort of thing that you can kind of like, maybe take a day off or two and then you'll be back at it? And that is just as important, if not more important, than like avoiding the disease altogether. Because right now, the disease is killing like a solid chunk of the people that it infects, or is otherwise doing serious long-term damage to them. And if we can get it to the point using a vaccine where it's just like a bad cold or the flu for someone, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and maybe the number we really need to pay attention to at this point is the herd immunity, metric of, what do they say, 85 or 90% to approach herd immunity.
Like 90% of the population vaccinated? Is that what you're talking about? Or?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number necessarily, and it may differ per disease as well. But sure. I mean, that's obviously important as well.
Sure, something like that.
Yeah, I was talking more about the efficacy of the vaccines. People debating whether or not they're effective at all. But once we assuming based on the information we have that they are effective, and they do appear to be very effective, some of them. So no, it's not bad. Then yes, it becomes more a matter of how do we get to the point where we're actually able to effectively, quote unquote, neutralize the disease. Heavy emphasis on the quotes there.
Well, and someone was some folks have been noting as well the importance of vaccinating the rest of the world and providing resources for that.
100%.
It's really important because the U.S. is not going to reach herd immunity without everybody else reaching herd immunity, because there's just too much, right? Like we're integrated at this point. There's tons of traffic, even now, even under lockdowns.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, and I think that's why when you look at certain countries that are struggling to secure vaccinations, it's really troubling to me, because even though it won't hurt the US as much if these countries don't get vaccines, right? It'll still hurt the US, and obviously it'll hurt that country. And the problem with that is that, like, and you guys are probably aware of this, the companies that have these diseases, the reason they're named for their companies is because they own the intellectual property. Like, they own those diseases.
I wanted
those
to,
vaccines.
I did want to get into this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've heard this, and and maybe my understanding of it is that these companies, obviously they do own the intellectual property, but it would require basically United Nations action or some kind of international action to say, okay, this recipe for this vaccine is now public domain.
Yeah.
Or it would require just the companies voluntarily giving out that information. And so basically a lot of countries have, actually probably every country at somewhere has capacity to start churning out vaccines. They just don't have the
legal authority to. That's exactly where I was going with this, is that, like, there have been a lot of calls for certain countries that are struggling to secure doses for the companies like Moderna and others to allow them to manufacture their, like, a basically non-branded version of their vaccines, and so far that has not been permitted, which means that more people are dying because of profit motives.
Well, yeah, and these companies are looking really good, and they're on these press conferences saying we're so excited about our partnership with the U.S. and we're pledging to churn out this many vaccines by this date. And my understanding is they're getting like $40 per person vaccinated that's not insured, and then obviously insurance is paying them for that rate for people that have an insurance card. So, like, these companies are generating like massive revenues on these vaccines, and they're choosing not to give that access to the rest of the world, which is so wild to me when I understood that. Obviously did not surprise me, not suggesting that, but it was a bit disheartening.
There was nothing unexpected about this for me, but I completely agree. It's disheartening regardless.
Now, you may know that Cuba is making their own vaccines. Have you heard about that?
Oh, no, I have not heard about this.
So Cuba is on the verge of having 3 or 4 of their own, basically in-house invented vaccines. And you may know that Cuba has basically one of the strongest, populations of medical doctors in the world, because they invest really heavily in educating population on medical science. And so all across the world, and this has been for decades, Cuba exports doctors basically to the rest of the world because
continue. It's not a problem.
Sorry, the Moltres is just freaking me out a little bit.
Don't worry about it. Don't let them distract you.
But Cuba basically exports doctors, and now they're making their own vaccines. And say what you will about Cuban brand communism or whatever, but their healthcare, my understanding is their healthcare is bomb. Their
don't get me started on their literacy programs.
Don't even go there. But that they're gonna basically, this tiny, relatively tiny island country is gonna churn out 3 vaccines, and I'm very curious. Based on their history, I would not doubt if they make that knowledge available to the rest of the world, or to countries of the third world, as you might say. But
I think that'd be really cool.
So, I hope. I've not read that they're intending to give it out, but I wouldn't doubt it, or if they are equipping people with that. But super. Oh, it's our boy.
Yeah,
it's the
main character over here.
Yep. Oh, what a beautiful creature.
Majestic.
Just admire those little metal.
Let's get a speed drop going
sticking
for
out
me.
of them.
Huh? Can we get a speed drop over here? No.
Yeah, so, hopefully, the other way that Cuba could go is they're just gonna mass produce these vaccines and sell, and sell them around the world or give them, and you know, I'd be curious what route they're going to take in terms of, obviously their self-interest is PR, as it always is,
right?
Like they want to look good because they want to show their model. It's like a propaganda, right? Like their model is superior to the rest of the world,
For sure, yeah.
which in some ways, you know,
Maybe it is on some level, but or in some specific ways, yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely things to be learning from Cuba. But the other question I had with both of these pieces was, kind of, should older people and highly vulnerable people across the world have been prioritized before vaccinating young people and less vulnerable people here in the US? Which I think is an interesting question, because on the one hand I see a whole like, hey, you need to put your, oh wow, this analogy is uniquely fitting. You need to put your mask on before you like help the person next to you.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But on the other hand, like, it's so focused, like, who is actually dying from this virus, that maybe vaccinating the elders across the world should have been the priority. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a question with, I think, a straightforward or easy answer. I think the way that the world is structured right now makes it difficult to carry out that sort of noble idea. Though I agree, I think ideally yes, because I think ideally, basically, if you would do that in one population, you should do that in all populations, right? But yeah, I mean, like, the way that I think the world should work is, yeah, like the richer, wealthier countries should come together and pool the resources and be like, okay, well, let's distribute as many like vaccines and medical aid and whatever to these poor nations who have like to their aging populations, to their high risk populations. I think that's probably how it should work.
Ooh. Sorry, can I interrupt this important conversation to take note of the expert belt?
Yeah, please.
I'm a big expert belt Dragonite fan because of the variety of moves you can put on a Dragonite.
It wouldn't be very good on our Dragonite right now, obviously, but I agree with you in general. I think there should be at least one Pokemon that has like a good type coverage that doesn't have a very good move.
Because we would be able to put like Flamethrower on it, right? Like, we could put Blizzard on Dragonite if we really wanted to.
I think ultimately, since we
got EXP share on Mitch.
Yeah. No, I put it on there. We've had the EXP share. You get it by talking to like Dawn's dad after leaving Eterna City.
Okay. I totally missed that.
Yeah, no problem. I think, once Mitch is like up to speed, maybe Mitch would be a good candidate for the EXP share, because he also gets bite and stuff, so he'll have like some decent type coverage. I just wanted to buy one of them before I forgot, because it's a pretty decent item.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty much close to a good, I think, ending time for this episode. You want to call it here and move to the next one?
No, actually.
No. Oh, okay. All right.
Because this is our encounter.
Oh, hey! He's a good boy.
This is going to be a very difficult capture, so I'm glad I bought some additional Pokeballs. This has the same encounter rate as the hardest to catch legendaries in the game.
Legendaries, right?
Yep. It's a
what is that, 3? 5?
3, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Takedown is a little scary, but we have to damage it. We're going to catch this thing. Maybe I should switch. Oh, if I switch to a goat. Here's the thing. Look at this. This is perfect. Watch this play.
But he'll damage himself, right?
No, he won't.
Oh, you absolute man.
It might have confusion, so I don't know how long this can last, but I don't think confusion... Ooh, Metal Claw as well. I don't think this will do a lot unless it gets a bunch of attack raises. It's a little more than I'd like, but...
Come on. Disable. Oh, you outspeed it.
Yeah, but it's not a very high accuracy maneuver.
I'll wait for him to do that again, and in the meantime, throw balls.
Yeah, he's not that smart. Oh, what does weaker mean?
Less than level 30, and also like the gap between your Pokemon influences it somewhat. But I don't know the exact calculation. It's kind of complicated.
Okay. Well, that ball is gone forever.
It's fine. This is probably some of the most utility we'd get out of it.
Mm-hmm. I am curious how those actually. How do you obtain them normally? Do you actually just get one throughout the game?
No, like the nest ball you can buy in some shop somewhere.
Okay.
There will be the opportunity to buy them. There are certain Pokeballs that in certain Pokemon games you can only get one of, like in Sun and Moon, for instance. All of like the Gen 2 like Apricorn unique Pokeballs, like the Heavy Ball, the Fast Ball, stuff like that. You can only get those like once each. And you can cascade them by breeding Pokemon, like depending on like certain attributes, like the parent will pass on its Pokeball to its child, right? But other than that, yeah, you only get one.
So we don't have Great or Ultra,
No.
so this could actually take. So we might have to just cut. Did you end up successfely disabling the?
For now, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to cut when we have a cut to an update. That's okay. No, we got
it wrong. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Look, if we lose someone.
No, because the chances of cashing it are so low. Like we've expended as many resources as we can on this fight.
Oh, but non-binary representation.
Look, I want to catch this thing as badly as you do. That's why I spent so long trying to get it optimally as low as we could. But the fact of the matter is, we just can't do it. So it's time to dip.
All right.
Hopefully we can run away because it's paralyzed.
Uh-oh. Okay.
This is what I was afraid of. Is that where
you might have to just attempt another Bernie run? Yeah, I just realized how precarious this is.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, like that's part of the reason I want to run is because we could just get swept if we're unlucky here.
Switch to Bernie. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
He outlevel. Don't you get to run more if you outlevel?
It's based on your speed stat.
Okay, well Bernie has a good.
I'm just afraid of confusion killing Bernie.
Hopefully not. I mean, statistically, it's not that likely.
The question to me is just like who's better to risk here, Mitch or Bernie? And I feel like the answer is Mitch.
But Mitch, if you fail the run here, Mitch dies.
Yeah, and if I switch to Bernie and he gets confusioned, he might just die. Like he might die from full, like from 55.
Crit. I think crit would obviously kill him, which is already a risk. But I think there's even a chance that confusion will just kill him.
He's 10 levels over the Metagross.
He is, but he's also a Monferno. He doesn't have amazing special defense, and Metagross has great special attack.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
Can Kamala take another hit?
Kamala and RBG could both take additional hits as long as they don't crit.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, then it's between Monferno and RBG. Okay.
All right, we got lucky with the paralysis.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, okay.
Well, unfortunately,
yeah, too bad. As you said, I think you said earlier in the run, not catching someone is as bad as someone losing someone.
Basically, yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
But I wasn't going to like risk, at least not that badly, Pokemon dying just to try to catch something, especially something that has like such a low catch rate. Obviously, Metagross in the long run would have been a really strong Pokemon, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. So, no encounter for that.
Restock. Make sure you restock on Pokemon.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then we can move on to the next episode.
Yep. All right. Input left. If you like this sort of thing, give us a sub. In the comments, are you vaccinated? If not, do you have plans to be vaccinated? Share your support for vaccines, and if you're an anti-vaxxer, share that too, because that will still help.
Probably
us in
shouldn't
the
share that.
algorithm.
Probably shouldn't.
Then you could get called out by so many of our lovely friends.
Yeah, but unfortunately, misinformation doesn't work like that.
No, I know. Join us next time. Bye.
Bye.